This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 235 Aussie Mac Zone. This week, sponsors athwebhosting.com.au and aussietechradio.com. Zarn,
hi,
how are
Michael.
you tonight?
I'm fantastic, mate.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear, my friend. Garth's had to sneak out on us at the last minute for some reason, so
Yep.
I hope he's all right. I hope everyone's all right. So, so we've got a few Aussie Apple ramblings this week, and some that I haven't even put in the show notes, just to surprise you all. So, Apple working on AR/VR headset with 8K display, no smartphone or computer tether, according to Mac Rumors. Apple is working on a powerful headset that will support both augmented reality and virtual reality applications, according to an inside source that spoke to CNET. Is that one of those leakers that we were talking about last week? Instead, it would connect to a dedicated box using a high-speed, short-range wireless technology called 60 gigahertz WiGig. This would be powered by a custom 5nm Apple processor that's more powerful than anything currently available, and similar to the custom chips that Apple will use in future Macs. At the current time, the box resembles a PC tower, but it won't be an actual Mac computer. Users will not need to install special cameras in a room to detect their location, as with some available VR headsets. All of the technology will be built into the headset and the box. So, you just got to remember to take everything off the floor so you don't fall over it. That's if you're using augmented reality, you probably don't have to do that, but virtual reality you do.
This sounds really exciting, actually. I love VR and all that sort of stuff. In the 90s, when it was poorly sort of made, and that I used to go down to the video arcade, and they had headsets there that you could put on in Parramatta, where JB is now.
Yeah,
there was a video like you go down to the video game parlor down there, and you could get into a Mac Warrior, and you'd put on a headset and inside a Mac, and move around and go fight other Mac Warriors. And so I'm really excited about this. I hope it brings something into the gaming more so than just I've seen lots of people on YouTube fall over and or freak out about something. I'm hoping there's going to be a little bit more to it than that with gaming, and even videos where I've watched one on Discovery VR where a guy jumps out of a balloon that takes him to it's not the is it the stratosphere? No. But it's high.
Yeah, the edge of space.
Yes, the edge of space, and he jumps out of the balloon, and in a suit, and comes all the way back down to Earth. And I watched that on VR, and it was absolutely brilliant. You had a 360 view; you could turn around and just look at everything why he was falling. So
yeah. A lot of work went into that. Must have paid for itself.
Yeah, well, now. I think NASA and Discovery paid for it. So
Now, RIP, as in rest in peace, airport base stations. Why Apple is exiting the Wi-Fi router business. So Airport Express, Airport Extreme, and Airport Time Capsule will continue to be sold whilst supplies last. But then Apple is done with the router business, at least for now. Part of it is that there are some good ones around now that let you do your whole house, for example, by having a mesh network, which Apple hasn't got into yet. So then updating to this story, Apple has shared a new support document offering tips on choosing a Wi-Fi router to use with Apple devices. the company recommends a router that offers 802.11 AC, dual band support, WPA2 personal encryption, and MIMO or MU-MIMO in the system, so that you can get the maximum from your machine.
So for those who aren't as tech savvy as you or I, should I say, that's absolute garbage, by the way. What does that mean? So if we're, okay, I need to go buy a router for my Mac, and I go to JB or I go to a computer store or whatever, our friends over here at Decomp.
Yep.
What would I be looking for?
Yeah. So the router's got to have 802.11 AC.
Yep.
With dual band support.
Yep.
WPA2, which is the standard personal encryption system that we use.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
And MIMO or MU-MIMO, which is just another part of the specs for devices these days.
Yep.
But also be looking at, because you don't actually have to have a router as such these days, because with the mesh Wi-Fi systems, they have multiple bandwidths as well.
Yeah.
So that it's not sending, waiting for an answer, waiting for an answer. It's sending stuff backward and forward all over the house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter which device you're using. So, but they're the minimum specs it needs for an Apple computer to function at its best.
Fantastic. And is there any that you recommend?
Any that I recommend? Yeah. I still think Billion probably make the best routers.
Yep.
I've never really had any issues with Billion routers, where nearly every other brand I've had super different issues. So
yep.
Yeah, even though you can spend $500 on a Netgear Nighthawk, and I think it's anyway.
All right, fair enough. Yep.
And you've seen the difference, at your place, with the difference between the router that your NBN supplier.
Well, that's right. Well,
whoever it is.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter who I'm with, but the one that they've gave me is garbage and drops out all the time, and so we swapped over to the Mac one, and we do not have an issue. If anything, we're getting more now than we ever were. It's really reliable, and so that's why I asked as well. What would you recommend?
Super different, it's just ridiculous. The
quality, the quality and output of the Mac router is just the quality's
but the Apple one
better
is
than anything I've ever used.
The Apple ones say $300.
Yeah,
and the one that your internet service provider is $60. But there's definitely a difference.
Yeah. You can tell. You can definitely tell. Like I said, it's the best quality, product I've probably used. So, yeah.
So, we will have links to those stories to give you more background if you need to have more background. But and another advantage of using an Apple router, if you're using an Apple server in your house, for example, because it just does all of that. The talking and the opening of the ports that you need and stuff, everything automatically, where normally you've got to go in and say, I want this port to be open and this port to be open for FTP and this port to be open, for email and that sort of thing. So, it's just, all of that ease is going away. But then again, it is getting easier to set up other routers as well. So.
Well, that's right. Well, the ones that you do get from your your provider are pretty good if you want to use basic sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that because I like to game and I've got 6 or 7 different devices running at a time.
Yeah.
I'm just I need something a bit better.
So 72% of enterprise employees choose Macs over PCs and 75% pick iOS devices over Android. So among enterprise organisations that allow employees to choose their equipment of choice, Apple is becoming an increasingly popular choice. According to a new survey information shared this morning by Apple IT management platform Jamf, 52% of enterprise organisations let employees choose their computers, while 49% let employees choose their mobile devices. So according to employees, the ability to choose their operating system and device of choice makes them more productive. 68% said choice improves productivity, and 77% said they're more likely to stay with a company that offers the device choice. So it's not necessarily the company paying for the device, it's just meaning that I don't have to have two phones, or I don't have to have, a phone at work and a Samsung phone at work and an iPad at home or something like that. It shouldn't really matter.
Yep. And they're saying too, was it in that one, that the smaller business are using them for a lot more stuff. So like you go to any hipster cafe now, and if you want to pay, via, you can pay with Apple Pay, or you can pay with even just your card or anything like that. They're all using
Google Pay. Yeah,
they're all using iPads. So
yeah. Now, and Jamf is certainly a company that's getting bigger and bigger, and they offer a good backbone system and they do charge a lot for training, but you don't necessarily have to have the training to use their products, depending on how big your organisation is. And they are a good company. So, their service is very good on the background.
Yeah.
So, now, a reminder. This week we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. They have affordable and competitive plans. They have friendly help when needed. They have 24/7 ticket support. They use the industry standard user-friendly feature-rich control panel called cPanel. You can install 250 scripts with one click. You accept PayPal as well as other cards. They have instant activation, auto setup 24/7, free setup, domain registration is available. Also, you can do domain transfers in most cases, 99.95% uptime, and all from $5.95 per month when paid annually. And they have their new website design software, so it's pretty cool. Now, here's one for Australia. This includes Australia in this, but Apple Maps. So on April 26, indoor airport maps for Edinburgh, Sydney International, Hamad International, Doha, and Hamad International in Doha in Qatar were added. Apple's airport maps let people search for gates, bathrooms, security checkpoints, and other points of interest. Users can also get details on businesses operating in a terminal and ask for on-foot navigation using Apple's indoor positioning technology. And you get to see inside the terminal just by using pinch to zoom. So once you're there, it's different. But when you're on, I looked at it from home yesterday, and you just find Sydney Terminal, open it up, pinch to zoom, and it's all three terminals at Sydney, which is our international terminal, which is Terminal 1.
Yep.
And 2 and 3 are our domestic terminals.
Yeah, and you can go in and use your maps to get around the airport if you're lost.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Just on our Facebook page.
Yep.
Kellyanne says, "Hello from Hunter." Hello, Hunter.
Hello, Hunter.
For all you that don't know, Hunter's my son. He's 18 months old. So
iTunes for Windows is available for download from the Microsoft Store. How's that?
Oh, wow.
Fulfilling promises made nearly a year ago, Apple on Thursday released iTunes for Windows 10 on the Microsoft Store, ensuring compatibility with the latest Windows 10 S devices. Now, we've got an Australian-based story again. Apple Give Back. So reading from the Apple site, turn the device you have into the one you want. Sorry about the cough. Trade in your eligible device and you could receive an Apple Store gift card. One, if it's not eligible for credit, we'll recycle it for free, no matter the model or condition. We can turn it into something good for you and good for the planet. And from April 19 to 30, and I've just found out about, we'll make a donation to the Conservation International for every device we receive, getting us even closer to leaving the world better than when we found it.
Sorry, I'm reading comments behind the scenes, so I apologise for that.
That's all right. Select your device to get started. Our partners will tell you if it has trade-in value or if it's ready to recycle. You then choose from 4 boxes on the page to get started with values of up to $470 for a smartphone, up to Australian $370 for a tablet, and up to Australian $210 for a watch. So I can't believe my watch is still worth $210. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. And then we've got, now here's one, because Tuesday American time, Apple have got the earnings report for Q2, which is calendar Q1, but Q2 2018. But analysts say market is panicking ahead of Apple's earnings report on Tuesday. Q2 2018 earnings on Tuesday, US time, and analysts are nervous, both about what the company might report for the quarter and what it may project for the current one. Recent falls in the share price were the result of Wall Street entering full panic mode, according to one firm. Persistent reports of poor iPhone X sales this quarter have driven concern. This has led to nervousness about the tech sector as a whole when the NYSE FANG Plus index took a hit a month ago. The index tracks 10 global tech giants, Apple among them, and experienced its worst ever one-day drop in March. Weak guidance by Apple chip maker, TS. That's the staff.
I want to see a chimp maker.
Heightened fears, as did a report suggesting that Apple's plan to use LG as a secondary supplier of OLED screens for this year's iPhones is now in doubt. This could limit Apple's options to be as competitive on price as it would like, or else hit margins. And Reuters roundup reveals that although there has been a big jump in the number of analysts recommending a hold rather than a buy on Apple, up from 8 in January to 14, none recommends selling. Apple guidance calls for revenue of between 60 billion and 62 billion, so that will be the key number to watch on Tuesday. Yep. So what do you reckon about that?
Well, I was actually reading that article earlier, and where was I? Let me have a look. So when I was reading that article earlier, so let me go through my notes, and here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't find it now.
If they only came in at $55 billion, so what?
Yeah, I know. Oh no.
And it's really relevant when you get to one of our other stories coming up about our Apple history little story.
Yep.
It's very relevant that, we're talking billions of dollars per quarter.
Yeah.
I'll get to that story. I'll do that story now. So this week in Apple history, 1st of April, which is tomorrow our time, in 1976, Apple is formed. So the three gentlemen agreed to make the company Apple Computer, and it was formed 1st of April 1976. But relevant to our Apple finance report, in 1996, Apple announced it expected to suffer a US $700 million loss in the current quarter.
Jesus.
So they've gone from losing $700 million to making.
Yeah. So to them saying, look, unless we make $62 billion.
Yes.
That's what we're expecting anyway. If we don't get that, I'll be shocked.
So it's only money.
That's right.
It's only money. Yeah, so don't forget, we are also brought to you this week by our friends at Aussie Tech Radio, www.aussietechradio.com. We have our award-winning Aussie Tech Heads podcast. We have our new show, Aussie Tech Crypto, and we have our Aussie Tech Security podcasts, all from our family. And we also have other podcasts from around Australia. So, yeah, plenty to look forward to. Now, I'm just going through the stories because I moved them all around. Now, I want people in this is directly aimed at people in New South Wales. New South Wales, you get CTP Green Slip refund. You log on to services.newsouthwales and go to Green Slip refund. Why they just couldn't call it refund, I don't know. But anyway, now, for example, my personal refund was $48 and my wife's one was $92. So
I got $39.
there we go. See, so it's certainly worth going on site and doing it. It only takes 10 minutes after you've signed in, so please have a think about that.
Well, it didn't take too long at all, actually. I did mine. I think I did mine last month.
Yeah.
And about 5-10 minutes, and then within sort of 48 hours, I had the money back.
Yeah,
that was great.
So just please be aware it's there. That money. If you don't want it,
give it to me.
Claim it, and give it to us. We're quite happy to take it off your hands.
That's right. This podcasting business isn't free, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm going to talk about a product, and it's not an advert, it's not a paid advert, but this week I started using an app called Max Fan Control. Pardon me. When you replace a hard disk drive in iMac since 2012 with non-Apple hardware, you would also have to install a temp sensor cable, which is about $70 extra from the States. But since discovering that Max Fan Control actually reads the temp sensor on SSDs and hard drives, this is something that SMC Fan Control, a competitor, does not do. And that will adjust the fan based on the temperature of the drive. It also works in boot-camped Windows machines, which is another trick. Otherwise, if you boot into boot camp, because SMC doesn't read it, they would go flat out. The fans would ramp up and you'd hear the fans all the time. So it's free to use, or you can give the guy $14.95 as basically a donation. But, yeah, it works. It's great. It's very simple, and yeah, it definitely works. And because it reads the temperature based on the smart status, which is hard drive talk, SMART status of your drive, it reads the temperature there and controls the fans accordingly. So it works like a beauty. Now I've got some other stories here, which is interesting. So I only got these this afternoon. That's why they weren't in the actual show notes that I prepared. Apple to abandon massive iPhone feature. So because they're supposedly looking at changing the way their displays are made so they can make them cheaper, that would get rid of the 3D touch feature that we currently have on our phones. Because they go back to having a separate layer for the touch, which means that the 3D touch part would go away. Or they also may have worked out how to read more of your finger when you depress it, so it knows that you're pressing harder, so therefore you're doing 3D touch. We don't know that, but it's more of a story to Apple abandon massive iPhone feature. So that's one thing that may happen in 2020. Now, this one I like, because this directly affects or comes from our side of the street. Apple Podcast platforms hit 50 billion downloads and over 500,000 shows now available. That's probably episodes when they talk shows. Apple has made several improvements to its podcast app and service pardon me, over the last year, and while features may still lack in comparison to popular third-party apps like Overcast, it's hard to deny the sheer size of Apple's podcast platform. Fast Company reports that Apple Podcasts has passed a notable milestone in downloads and streams. The report says that in March 2018, Apple Podcasts hit 50 billion all-time episode downloads and streams. That's a massive increase from 13.7 it's set in 2017. So that's like...
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that's like 3 times increase in 1 year. So you can't complain about that.
Absolutely not.
2014, there were 7 billion. 2016, but 10.5. So, yeah, the numbers have been, going up and up. But that's a really huge increase.
That's massive.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank you all for listening. That's important to know that we do appreciate.
Absolutely.
That. Thank you, everybody. Now, I've got another one here that wasn't included, but we're about to do it. So, apparently, because I don't use it, but Gmail has a new interface. So, Gmail's sweet new interface is rolling out to users. It offers for me, a simple text-based interface from Gmail you all know and love, but it manages to be both less messy and more useful. And if you want to use it, you can. So the way we do that is, as soon as I get to the instructions.
Was that just add your Gmail to your phone, or?
Yeah. So if you've already got,
I've already got Gmail to my.
Yeah. So to activate the new Gmail, the new look Gmail, log into your Gmail account.
Okay.
Click the cog settings icon. That's the little gear wheel.
Let me see. I don't know if I've got one.
If the redesign is available to you, you'll see try the new Gmail at the top of the menu. So the gear is normally on the top right-hand side, just under your name.
No, I think because I've got 2 emails addressed to the one thing, I don't.
You need to be in the web-based part, don't you?
So yeah, maybe that's what it is, because I've got it as my my main mail. So it's just on the front here. I just go straight into it and I just open it straight up. So I'd probably have to go in through Safari.
Yes.
Yep.
And do it that way. So, and you don't like the new design, the best way is to tell them that there is a challenge. You can go back to your old email setting by picking go back to classic Gmail from the list. And there you have it. That's how you use the new setting if it's available to you. If it's not available, you won't have that choice yet.
Yeah.
So, be interesting. If people want to tell us what they think, please do. Sounds good. I'm not a Gmail user, so because I get so many questions about Apple Mail, etc. That's why I just use the standard apps that are installed. So we'll be all wondering, if the Earth stops turning on Wednesday our time, we'll know that Apple only made $61.5 billion for the quarter. So that's it. So I'd just like to thank everybody this week, and I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, this week being athwebhosting.com.au and aussietechradio.com, and our supporters, you, our listeners. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. So, thanks to our sponsors. And remember, Apple a day keeps the Androids away. See you guys.
Thank you.